Okay, so a minute is just not long enough. If you're watching me on my stories, I was talking a little bit about motivation and kind of making a decision. Like if you're in that place where you're feeling like frustrated and you just kind of let yourself go and, it's been 2 months, maybe it's been 3 months, and you are just at that place where you're like, enough is enough. Like eventually life is going to go back to normal. I'm going to have to put on my pants. I'm not going to the store to buy new clothes. I mean, I'm preaching from the choir here because this is where I'm at. We're not going to be like this forever. And, you have a choice. So maybe you're at that place where you're like, enough is enough. And you've hit that thermostat. I need like a phone holder. You've hit that place where you're like, you have like this expectation of like, I'm not going past this. Like, even if it's like, we all have it. Some people it's higher. Like maybe it's 200 pounds. You're like, I'm not going over 200 pounds. And then when you do, what do? You tighten it up, you eat a little better, you get a little healthier. And then when you get under it, what happens? We start sliding, we start slipping. So for me, it's the same thing. Like I work with all kinds of women and we have the same struggles. So maybe their goal is like 150. Like everybody's different. Your height, your build, what your goals are. And there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe it's like 150 and maybe you get to like 160 and you're like, oh, you have that thermostat. You're like, oh, I got to get back to where I'm comfortable. And, and maybe that's happened and you're not comfortable. And so you're like, what do I do? Like, I'm just not motivated. Well, you just do it. Like you just make a change, and it doesn't have to be, I'm going to eat salads 3 times a day and not drink and exercise 3 hours a day. Because if you are not exercising and you're not eating healthy, then I'm not being mean, but what makes you think you're going to go like all the way to the other side and be like able to be that strict? Like that's just insanity to think. Like even for myself, like you cannot set yourself up for failure. So what you need to do is say, okay, I'm uncomfortable. It's time for me to start taking action. And maybe set a short-term goal. Like maybe set a trip for, like, even if it's local, maybe it's a staycation, something, maybe hire a family photographer. It doesn't have to be ridiculously expensive. I mean, you can have your friends do it. Something that's going to help motivate you. I think when you spend money, you're more likely to be motivated. So what motivates me is typically trips. What sucks is like we usually have these company trips throughout the year and they've all been canceled. And I think that's kind of where I've whatever. And that's stupid because it's not about other people. It's about me. It's about how I feel. And I kind of had to come to that terms with that mindset. So what you need to do is start making those small changes. Think about, okay, if you're not working out at all, what can you do? How much time do you have? Can you do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week? Can you do an hour a day, 5 days a week? It really just depends on where you're at, what's sustainable for you. What do you think would burn you out? Maybe you start with 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Like just for the first week, 30 minutes, 3 times a day, give your body time to get used to it. That way you're not getting burnt out. If you're over 30, you need to be incorporating weight training because muscle burns fat and it changes the composition of your body and it's good for you. It also helps with osteoporosis and there's so many other benefits. But I'm telling you, if you want to see changes in your body, you've got to pick up some weights. They don't have to be super heavy. And that's going to help. So maybe set the goal of these small changes. Maybe eat 1 vegetable a day. Maybe you're somebody who never eats veggies and you just say, I'm going to add 1 veggie to my day. And maybe you just throw spinach in your smoothie, and side note, if you're drinking smoothies that are made with a bunch of sugar and fruit, which is basically sugar, then I want you to reevaluate that, because I've seen clients that come on and they're making smoothies with like a whole banana and a cup of milk and some strawberries and some mango. And before you know it, they're drinking massive amounts of sugar and there's no protein in there, or maybe they're doing protein too, but it's lots of calories. And then they start gaining weight. This was my struggle because I didn't know what to do. I was a beginner at one point and I don't know it all. I'm not a nutritionist. I just know from experience what I have learned and I pass that on to others. So make sure you're doing something. If it's a smoothie, it's I don't put more than 1 serving of fruit in my smoothies. So a half a banana is a serving of fruit. So just remember that when you're making it. If you want to add veggies, knock yourself out. It might taste like dirt, like spinach. You don't taste it. But kale, me. So anyways, eat 1 veggie a day. Add in water. Drink half your body weight in water a day. Something that helps me, and you guys will probably see me, I have a really big water cup. I like this one because it fits in my car. 30 ounces. It's not super heavy. Whatever you want to use is fine with me. 30 ounces. I fill this up 3 times a day, and it helps me to track mentally. I'm filling this up for the 2nd time. I'm halfway through the day. I'm on track. And then I know if I get my 3 in, then I'm good. So you want to make sure you're getting your water in. So those are just small changes that you can do when you make that decision so that you don't self-sabotage. You don't say, you know what, F it. I can't do 6 days a week, so I'm going to do nothing. That doesn't help you at all. That's like insanity. So even if you're working out 1 day a week, drinking water and adding veggies in, you're doing better than you were, right? So this week moving forward, I would love for you to just set some small goals. And if you're a go-getter and you want to get it and you got a goal coming up, go girl, do it and get to it. But just know burnout is a real thing. And if you set the goal too high and you know it's not possible, you're not going to go after it because you know it's not achievable. So, and also set your goals based on what you do, your actions, and not on the results. So if you set these small goals, and I think tracking them is ideal. Tracking them in some way, whether it's on a notebook, you can go online, find a habit tracker for absolutely free, and you just write the activity and you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you mark it off when you do it. I think that really helps you mentally. You can set these small goals. Maybe it's even soda. Maybe you have a soda addiction and you're drinking 3 sodas a day. What if you take that down to 2 or 1 and you track 1 soda a day? And you check it off. Maybe whatever it is, you're tracking it. At the end of the week, you do not measure your success by the number on the scale. You measure your success by, did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you show up and do the work? And I promise you, if you do the work long enough, the results will come. Now, if you're I do think weighing is smart, doing your measurements and weighing. Sometimes it's going to go up and it could be discouraging. So if you're that person that gets discouraged, only weigh once a month because our hormones are like this. And I even get discouraged. If the scale makes you self-hate, stop getting on it. Just use measurements and know I'm making changes. I'm moving in the right direction. I'm feeling better. I feel better in my skin. I feel stronger. I feel more confident. Who cares what the freaking scale says, right? So track your habits, start making changes, and people walking by, and just be okay with that. Be proud of yourself for making those small changes. But anyway, I just had to I know I probably talk about the same thing and I'm all over the place and I have lots of ADHD followers, so you guys get me. But get over that all or nothing mindset and just do something. Make a change and just stick to it long enough. It has to be long enough for you to see results. It's consistency plus intensity over time equals results. So, and by consistency, I don't mean you're showing up every day. So what? Maybe you don't show up every day. Maybe you backslide. But if you're being consistent and you keep at it, week after week, month after month, year after year, if you keep making changes, the results will come. And if you want results that are better, then you have to push yourself more. You have to create healthier habits. You have to create different habits. Maybe alcohol has become a problem, which it's something that I've been struggling, not drinking all day, but it's become a nightly habit multiple times a week because there's things going on. We're having these virtual happy hours, and then we're having, it's only an hour, but then I'm I'm gonna have some more, and then we're having our neighborhood happy hour, and then and then on the weekend we're having some drinks, and before you know it 4 or 5 days out of the week you're having drinks, and it's becoming a habit. And you have to self-evaluate, and you have to say, okay, do these actions line up with my goals? And so you have to constantly be self-evaluating, not beating yourself up, not making yourself feel guilty, just self-evaluating and saying, what do I want? What am I working towards? Are my actions taking me towards my goals or away from my goals? And then you adjust. and you keep doing that, because it's never going to be easy. I mean, there may be some people it's just like easy for them, but I'm pretty sure even people who like look like Jillian Michaels, they have to sacrifice. I don't think they wake up and they're just like, oh, I can't wait to have like egg whites. Not that you have to eat that, but you know what I mean? I think that people who have like, I guess I'm saying like people who have like competition bodies, which is not my goal, although I would love that, but I'm not that disciplined right now at this point. And that's okay. That's not my goal. I would love to look like that, but I'm not willing to do the action. See how that's thing, like I would love for that to be my goal. It is not my goal, because if it was my goal, then I would have to define the actions that are going to get me there, and I would have to do them. And I know that I'm not willing to do that. So you have to ask yourself, like if your goal is like, say your goal is you need to lose 20 pounds in a month, which is crazy. You're not going to do that. That's stupid. Say 20 pounds in 3 months. What are you going to have to do to get there? Your nutrition's going to have to be on point. You're going to have to exercise. You're going to need to drink your water. You're going to have to do these things, and you're going to have to be more intentional than if you were trying to lose 20 pounds in a year, right? You could be more lax. You could take it a little slower. So you see where I'm going. But anyways, blabbered long enough, but I just wanted to get that off my chest because I feel like I'm in a better place mentally. And I'm just excited. I've got something to look forward to, and I really just do better with that. And I got our 20th anniversary trip coming up. And so I'm not going to just, you have to always have something to look forward to though. So after that happens, you have to have something else, because otherwise you just go back to old habits. But it's good to have small goals. Even if it's like, I'm going to reward myself with a pedicure, if that's ever possible, after 4 weeks, you know, or a new outfit or something. But anyways, but don't do nothing. Like, don't stay stuck. Don't feel defeated. Don't beat yourself up. Just take action. And if you do, please message me and tell me, you know, like update me, like say, hey, like your video helped me, motivate me to start this, or I've been doing this. Keep me updated. Like, I really like it. It makes me feel like I'm being heard and like my voice matters and like I'm making a difference. And so, all right, I gotta go home because I gotta pee and I'm really hungry and I'm gonna eat healthy, so I'll show you guys a photo. But all right, talk to you later. Bye.